we're waiting for everybody to log in, please grab a cup of water, coffee, tea, something to keep you hydrated for the next hour, and a pen and paper. And if you are already set up and ready to go, let's just do a chat check and a QA, question and answer check. All right. So in the chat, if you wouldn't mind just typing in where you are attending from. And then that way we can all just make sure that the chat is working. And in the question and answer portion, if you can just type in what you're hoping to get out of today's session, and then that way we can just make sure that the chat and the Q&A is working for everybody well. All right, I see a couple of chats coming in, so that's perfect. Thank you, everybody. All right, I see some people coming in from Vancouver. All right, awesome. Okay. All right, and if somebody wants to type in the Q&A where they're what they're hoping to get out of today's session, that we can check to make sure that the Q&A option is working as well. Okay. Awesome. Welcome. Welcome. I see you coming in, Deepak. Welcome. I see Mark as well. All right. And Lena, welcome. Oh, we actually have two Marks on. Okay, perfect. Wilma, nice to have you on board. And Lulu, welcome. All right. So we are going to get started. As many of you know, I like to start on time and punctual, and I want to be respectful of with everybody's time. And since you guys are all here, some of you I know came a couple minutes early, so thank you for that. So let's get going, because I do have, I'm super excited to share the slides that I put together on this strategy on equity strategies, and I want to make sure that I get all of that content out to you. So why don't we get started? I know a few people signed up and had already messaged me saying that they couldn't attend, and so we're hoping to get the recording to them separately as well. Okay, so let's jump right in. So at this point, you should see the main welcome slide, which is the Wealthy Engineer. And so this is just our welcoming slide. Together, we, the Wealthy Engineers, and including everybody, we are more, right? We are able to create a lot more and get further ahead in life. So please let me know if you are having a problem seeing the slides. Otherwise, I will assume that everything is going well, and I will just continue. Hi, Nate and Tulson, welcome. All right, so let's get started here. Okay, so I have a bunch of gifts to give you guys at the very end, but you have to stay until the very end to get these gifts. I will email them to you, and these gifts are worth over $3,500. Like, these are a lot of gifts. Some of you might have had a few of them already before. Let me show you a couple of the gifts. Let's see, the Wealthy Engineer book, the Secret to Wealth book. Okay, you'll get the e-version book of this, along with the Path to Mortgage Freedom. This is how to become mortgage free in 10 years. Okay, so you'll get these two gifts in an e-version, but I'm not going to spoil the other gifts, but those are the first two that I'll share with you. Okay, so then stay until the very end and you will automatically get the gifts. Okay. So if you haven't grabbed a pen and paper, please do so. This is an educational segment on the infinite return equity share strategy. And if you're not familiar with this, having a pen and paper to take the notes would be very, very helpful. Okay. If you have any questions during the session, please feel free to put them into the Q&A. You can also chat with me in the chat option as well. I won't be able to see the chat while I'm going through the slides, but I will definitely go through them at the end and answer all the questions at the end. Okay, and please, there's no such thing as a dumb question. Please, if you have any questions at all, please put them in. If you think that your question is very specific to you because of your situation is very unique, then I invite you to have a one-on-one consult with me, and I'll give you the link to register for a complimentary call at that point. Okay. All right. So let's see here. So if you have not done so, please turn off your gadgets. Give this time to you to learn something, to be reminded of something. If you've got kids around you, please feel free to put this on speaker. This is family-friendly content. It's never too early to have kids learn about money and how to, grow our wealth. So, okay, so let's get into some of the heart of the content here. So today, I'm I'm going to share with you a concept that I've been doing in real estate for 25 years. And I actually didn't even know I was doing this strategy until a couple of years ago when it clued in like, hey, you know what, Hong, you've actually already been doing this strategy and you didn't even know it. Okay, so today, like I mentioned, this is more of an educational segment. And if this strategy resonates with you and you want to see this in action, then I invite you to come to Wednesday's session to learn about a specific opportunity that I'm working on with my business partner and how you can be involved in it. There will be a registration link at the end, so I will share that with you as well. If you miss it, I will be doing a follow-up email with the free gifts, and I'll also include in that email a link to register for Wednesday's session as well. Okay. Oh, hi, Sean, welcome. And yeah, Irene, welcome. All right, so before we go into how I got to this point, because I want to share with you my journey on how I got to this point so that you can sort of see the outcome and apply it to your own situation. So before we get to that, let's jump into the poll, because what I'd like to do is adjust some of my content to be relevant for you who are here. Okay, so I'm launching the poll. Just give it a second. Okay, so please take it should only take you like 2 minutes at the most to fill out this poll. There's only 3 questions. As far as I know, this polling is anonymous. Okay, it's not going to um, give me your name or anything like that. And as far as I know, it's not shared with other people that are on the call. So please take a couple of seconds and fill out the poll so that I can see what the results are. Okay, and so then I can adjust the content accordingly. Thank you. Okay, and if you are having a problem with the poll, please put it in the chat and I will see if I can answer it for you. Okay. Okay, so I see a couple people replying, so that's perfect. Okay. All right, that's perfect. Everybody is on. Oh, if you cannot see the poll, it might be in another pop-up window. So you might need to just minimize or move your screens around. Okay. And if you can't open the poll, that is okay. It was more just to give me an understanding of, the knowledge level of individuals on the call so that I could tailor the content as needed. Okay. Um, okay. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, a few of you commented that you can't see the poll. So I do apologize for that, not to worry. We will, oh, and that's interesting. I got a comment from somebody saying that the chat wasn't working for them. So that is okay, Mark. Feel free to just put your comments or questions into the Q&A then, and we'll figure out why the chat isn't working for you at a later date. Okay. All right. So the poll, let me just see. I will end the poll now. So I'll give a 3 minute countdown on the poll. Okay. Sorry, a 3 second countdown on the poll. 1, 2, 3. All right. We will close that first poll. All right. Perfect. Now so I'm not quite sure if you guys can all see the poll, but the results came back that 100% of the people who were able to respond to the poll actually said that their experience in real estate is average, which is very interesting. And the second question was, are you an accredited investor? And 67% said yes. and 33% said no. So that's really interesting that nobody said not sure. So that's actually very interesting. Okay, perfect. And yeah, the third question was, if I found the right opportunity, how quickly would I be able to take action? Majority of the individuals said within 30 days. Okay, and then the other group said I would need more than 6 months. Okay, so that's perfect. Okay, so thank you for taking the time to answer the poll, and I do apologize for those who were not able to participate in the poll. Okay, so let me go to the next slide here, and so you should see a slide with a bunch of houses on it. Okay, so this is my portfolio. I haven't updated it actually with my portfolio in Edmonton or Saskatchewan or the commercial property that I have. So this is my portfolio. I became financially independent when I was in my early 40s and retired from my professional full-time engineering job. Um, and I'll show you on a timeline when I did that. So I've actually been in real estate for more than 20 years, and I started fairly young. And so I do buy and holds, private lending, rent to owns, multifamily, um, single families, condos, uh, vendor takebacks, like you name it. I pretty much have dabbled in a lot of different strategies within real estate. And so part of why I want to share with you how I got here so that you can have the same outcome as me if retiring from your full-time job is what you want to do. Okay. So in order for me to share with you how I came across my equity share idea, it's not my idea. It's actually commonly well known out there. But for me, it was like when the light bulb went off, it was like, oh my God, like I'm doing this strategy and I want to, help you by sharing the strategy with you so that you can get to the point of having the same idea as well. Okay. So these are the two books that I mentioned. I also have an online academy and I have a YouTube channel. Okay, so that's me in a nutshell. Okay, so before you go and implement any of the ideas that you pick up from today's presentation or from the books that you will receive as a gift, please go and talk to another real estate investor, talk to your lawyers, accountant, financial advisor. The stuff that I've done has been instrumental in me becoming financially free and having the lifestyle that I have. But that was at my risk level. So please seek a secondary advice before you go and implement any of it. Okay, so let me, I want to share with you the 3 whys on why I do what I do. Okay, so this is my boy. His name is Tyson. He's beautiful. He's 11 or soon to be 11. And we live a bit of a minimalist lifestyle in the sense that we're very intentional about what we buy and where we spend our money. However, once in a while we do live it up. This was his birthday party last year where we got a limo and took a bunch of his friends and just gallivanted around Vancouver in a limo. Okay. The second reason, this is something that actually happened yesterday, so very new. And so, I realized that as I was putting the slides together, I was like, yeah, this is absolutely why I do what I do. Okay. We got sideswiped yesterday, and this was the result of our car. Okay. Luckily, myself, my son, and the other drivers in the other cars, nobody got hurt. We all walked away with no injuries. Our car, on the other hand, is another issue. Okay. But this was another reminder that life is too short to be stuck at a 9 to 5, to be worrying about money and just arguing about money and stressing about money. And so, it really hit me. Like I'm still like a little bit shaken up by the accident. And, like luckily we have another vehicle in the house. And so, even getting into it yesterday in the evening time was a little bit like, Oh, so this is the second reason why I do what I do, because I don't want to have any regrets, when I pass away, and I want to live my life to the fullest. Okay. This is my third why. This is, famous Warren Buffett. If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work till you die. Okay. And I came to that early realization that I did not want to work every day of my life until I died. Like I want to be able to homeschool my child. I want to be able to travel with him and see the world, which we did just before COVID. And so, I don't want to be behind a desk, even though, I have an engineering degree. I don't want to be doing that every day until I die. Okay. So I chose to retire from engineering and to go into real estate full time. But really, but really full time to me is like 2 or 3 hours and then we're off to the beach. We're off biking or running or doing something fun. Okay. All right. So this is my journey timeline. I started in real estate with that red brick house in 1996. Okay. And I actually still have that property. Yeah, it's not that pretty, but you know what? I love that house because that is what started my real estate journey for me. And then over the years, I would buy another house, and then another few more years, I'd buy another house. So a very drawn out process was my journey. I coasted for 18 years, working full time as a as a full time as an engineer, and then in the evenings going and doing some property management, shadowing my contractor, learning how to do minor repairs. And as the years went by, I would save up some money and then have enough for the down payment and then buy the next one. And I did the 3 T's all the way through for every single property. And then in 2016, for some reason, I signed up for my first business coaching program. Never done it before. And I did my first private mortgage, which was fantastic because then that's how I learned about private lending. And in 2016, that was when I retired from engineering. Okay. And as you can see, 2016 came about after I had my first had my son, right? And that was really when it hit me like, hey, you know what? I want to be available to see him grow up. I want to really be involved in his life. And so once I realized, and he was born on 2013, I was like, okay, you know what? Figure out how to retire, figure out how to get every day so that I could live my life by design. The other big deciding factor for me to make this transaction was, as a full-time engineer, I was actually getting laid off. So in '08 and '09, when we had the economic crisis, I was actually let go. And I was like, wait a minute, as an engineer, I should have a safe, secure job for the rest of my life. I should never have to worry about a job. And then also the other issue was, because I was buying all these properties individually, I was starting to max out on my borrowing power. And I was like, wait a minute, as a full-time engineer, if I can't qualify for another mortgage, there's got to be something I'm missing, and maybe this engineering job isn't the best way to finance the next deal because I couldn't finance any more deals. So there was a couple of sort of light bulbs that went off at that point. So in 2016, I retired from engineering and went into real estate full time, and really became a full time mom at that point as well. So I did the very traditional real estate investing. I would buy and hold all of the properties that I had, live off the cash flow, sit on the appreciation, get the mortgage pay down, wait the 5 years, go to refinance, save up some more, go buy the next place, hire a property manager or a contractor, or manage, self manage. Okay. And I did all of this for years and dealt with the 3 T's. And if you're sitting there going, what are the 3 T's? Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you that right now. Okay. Taxes, tenants, and toilets. I dealt with all of those while I was working as a full time engineer. Okay. And then in the last few years, like around the 2013, 2016, I realized that there was a fourth T. And the fourth T was time. So then what happened after that was in 2018, I bought some more properties. I got into some bigger multifamilies. And then in 2020, that's when the light bulb went off. Why don't I put my money in with other people and buy bigger units? And if I'm putting my money in, I'm a passive investor and they're doing all the work. They're dealing with the three T's, the toilets, taxes, and tenants. And I get to go and live my life as a full-time mom, right? And doing my side real estate stuff. And if I put my money in and if the opportunity makes sense, then I would be getting a share of the profits forever, right? Which is the part of the buy and hold. And so that's when that light bulb went off in 2020. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like that's amazing. I don't have to deal with those three T's if I don't want to anymore. I could find somebody who's got the opportunity, partner up with them, and let them do all the work. Okay. And so, part of why I'm sharing how I got to this point is so that you can just take the 20 odd years that I've been in real estate and springboard off of my experience, my knowledge, and sort of hit the ground running. Okay. All right. And so then that's when the second sort of light bulb, like the thunderbolt hit was, Hong, you can do this with your money, have infinite return, and then go and share that with your fellow engineers. Go and share that with other people in a profession so that they're not stuck in a job if they don't want to be, right? So figure out how to get the message out there. So part of doing this presentation is sharing that knowledge, sharing how I got here so that you can take what you want out of it and put it into your life so that you can retire from what you're doing if you want, or you can stay in it if you love what you're doing. Because I know some of my engineering friends love engineer and they would never retire from engineering. But having some additional cash coming in, having that extra wealth, some additional resource of income gives you the ability to just take a breather from your work and not have to worry about money. Like you go to your work, you go to your 9 to 5 and can be a lot more effective because you're not worrying about money. Everything at the home base is happy and taken care of. Okay, so the joint venture equity share strategy is where there's a partnership, and if you're coming in with the money, you are a silent partner in the ownership of the property. You would be a silent part. Okay, so why would you want to do this? Okay, so on the slide you'll see generational wealth, but really it's not just generational wealth because you are seeing some of the profits now. Okay. A lot of these opportunities, you have the option to transfer your shares, transfer your portion of the ownership to somebody else. So that's why the generational wealth applies, because you can gift it away. You could sell it if you want to. But in addition, you're also getting some of the returns now while you're here. Okay. And when would you want to do this? Well, you would want to get into this strategy, one, if it resonates with you and you think it's a fantastic idea like I did, or you have no time to manage because you're working a full 9 to 5, or you run your own business, or you have other things in life that you want to do. This is a great strategy for you to be in because somebody else is doing all of the work for you. You just have to make sure you analyze the deal, you do your due diligence. Okay. So the screen is being shared right now. So if you're not seeing the screen, then just you probably have screens on top of screens, and so you may need to minimize or move stuff around. Okay, and I do apologize if you're having any difficulties. We are going to be sending out the recording afterwards, and so you will be able to watch the slides at that point as well. Okay. 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 So let me keep going here. So I'm going to just skip over the this video. When I tried playing it earlier, I couldn't get it to show, and the audio wasn't working very well. And so I'm not going um, to play around with that. Okay, so I do apologize for that. So let me share with you one of the deals that I started in um, as one of the first equity shares that I did when I was getting into this particular strategy with partners. Okay. Um, oh, and I forgot to mention that if you are having some technical issues, sometimes logging out and re-logging back in can reset the technology for you. So if you're not seeing the slides, then maybe just logging out and logging back in. Okay, so this is actually the very first opportunity that I did with a partner. It was a 6-unit brand new build. We needed 220 to close, and I think there might have been some additional cost to close. It was a projected 3 to 5 year refinancing, so we had to leave our money in there for about 3 to 5 years before we could refinance as a corporation. And then this was a 26% profit estimated year over year. And this 26% was split amongst everybody that was in the corporation. So after 5 years, we would potentially get about 13% as a silent money partner coming in with no money left in the deal. Okay. So once I got into this, it was like, wow, there are deals like this out there, right? And it was really just being able to understand the numbers and understanding the partners, so like who I was working with, so that I could really make sure that I was doing a good job with that. Okay. All right. So there are these types of deals out there. And like I've been looking at opportunities from this angle all the time now, saying, okay, is this an opportunity that makes sense for me? Because if it makes sense for me as a partner coming in to help raise funds or to loan sponsor to do anything, then I can share it with my friends and family because it's a deal, it's an opportunity that I support. Okay. So this is the current opportunity that I'm working on. And if the content that I'm sharing with you resonates with you in terms of infinite return, in terms of being passive, in terms of, having that financial independence, then I invite you to come on Wednesday to listen to my business partner, Amy, present on this opportunity. I'm going to be there as well, and I'm going to help her. We work together on the presentation. And so we're going to be presenting this opportunity. And, one of the reasons, well, okay, the reasons that I love this opportunity and why I decided to partner up on it is that with this opportunity, we're forecasting that we're going to be returning all of the invested capital within 18 months. So that means within 2 years, you're going to get all of your cash back, right? Okay, so that was a huge thing for me because a lot of the other projects I'm looking at, there may be a 4-year, 5-year time frame before I get my money back. So in this one, it's like 18 months the time frame. The other reason that I really love this opportunity is that we were able to structure it so that there's no negative cash call. And if you're thinking, going, okay, Hong, I don't know what a negative cash call is. Okay, think of it as if you're familiar with owning a condo, when there's a special assessment, you have to pay into that special assessment. Like there's no denying that the additional money that you have to put in. So we were able to structure this opportunity so that there's no negative cash call, which for an investor, that's a huge selling point. Okay. The other reason that I really love this opportunity is that once you get all your cash out, okay, you like, let's just say if you put in 100,000 or 200,000 into the opportunity and you get all that money back within the 18 months time frame, you start making a profit on this opportunity. You start building equity in this opportunity. At that point, you're in this opportunity, you've got no money in, you're making around 10% return a year, but that 10% is infinite return because you have no cash in anymore. Okay. So those are the three reasons why I love this opportunity. Okay. So so I definitely invite you to come on Wednesday to hear a little bit more about that opportunity. So by this point, you're probably thinking, that's great. You know, you're in real estate full time. You've been doing this for years and years, and so you understand this. You know this. Okay. Well, let me just tell you that this myth is actually false, right? You don't need to be in real estate full time to be successful in real estate. If you partner up with people who have the right opportunities for you, you can also be very successful in real estate, and you don't need to be in it full time. Okay. A lot of people who have a full time job can invest in real estate in this passive manner and still be very successful in real estate. You might also be saying to yourself, you know what? You have to have money to make money, right? Like, I don't have a ton of money. Okay. Well, let me also tell you that this statement is also very false. When I bought my first home, I was, 21, 22. Well, okay, and now you can sort of figure out my my age here. So when I bought my first place, I had zero money in on that. Like, none of that money that I put down as a down payment was actually my own money. I actually used somebody else's money to buy my first place. And then I also used somebody else's money to buy my second, and so forth like that. So none of the money that I've put into a lot of my opportunities were my own money. Okay. So this statement is absolutely false as well. So let me share with you this concept here. Okay. So I've sort of animated it so that you can sort of follow along, because a lot of times this strategy can be very confusing if it's just thrown at you all at once. So just follow me as the animations come up here. Okay. And all of the numbers and the time frames here are projected, but it gives you an idea of how the strategy works. Okay. So let's just say in year one, you you put in 100K into an investment opportunity. Okay. And then so now you're a part owner in this building, this opportunity. So it sits there and it grows in value, it gets finished, and by year three, okay, because so we're anticipating like a 2-year build. So in 2 years, you would get your money back. So in the third year, you would take that money and you would actually roll it into your next property, or you could, take it and decide to go do something else with it. But what we're hoping to do is continuously implement this strategy every 2 years. Okay. So then potentially in the third year, you would have your capital back, 100K in this case, and you would be able to roll it into the second property. So now in that third year, you would now start seeing that 10% return on your first property. Okay. So that's the B1. And now at this point in year three, now you've got 2 buildings that you're active, like involved in. And now you're starting to see that first return on that infinite first building. Okay. So then in the fourth year, your first building is getting another 10%. And then in the fifth year, you're going to now receive your profits back from your second building, and you're going to roll that into the third building. Okay. And then you now will see a return on the first building along with the second building. Okay. So now you're getting infinite return on 2 buildings. Okay. So at this point, if you're not falling off your seat or if the light bulb's not going off, I invite you to call me and we'll hop on a call and I'll figure out another way to explain why this is such an important, like you're compounding on your returns. Like you're making your money and literally you're starting with 100K. Like at this point, you haven't put in any more money than the 100,000. Okay. Okay. So then in year 6, you're seeing the return from your building 1 and building 2. Okay. And then in year 7, you roll that money in and you buy another opportunity. Okay. Now here's where there's like this explosion of magic here. Okay. That first building now can requalify or refinance for a new mortgage because it's been a 5-year time frame. Okay, so building number one refinances. Now that's where you're going to see a lot of the equity pullout. You're going to see any of the appreciation gain. You're going to see that in equity and potentially in cash. Okay, and then this just keeps going every single year until you decide not to roll those funds. Okay, so in the 7th year, now you're going to see a return on your building 1, building 2, and your building 3. Okay, and at this point now you've got 4 buildings that you're in partnership with. Okay, all right. So the other thing that you might say to yourself is, well, Hong, I have to work to make money. Like I don't have that freedom to just, retire, or I don't have a ton of passive income coming in. Like I have to work to make money. Okay. And this as well is also very false. Okay. Because that's the whole concept of passive income, is that you don't have to work to make money. You put your money in. Okay, that's the one time that you do need the money. But after that, that money is making money for you. It's putting money in your pocket while you're sleeping. Okay, so just a time check. We're doing really good with time. So we're almost actually almost finished. So that's perfect. Okay, so the next steps. So this is the QR code. You can take a picture of it, and if you do the QR code right, it should take you to the link to the registration page. So you can just register that way. I will also email you the link to register, and feel free to invite other people to come to it. Okay, so this on Wednesday's session, we will dive right into this particular Crystalina project opportunity. We'll talk more about the pros, some of the risks that goes with this, and because the education from today is really just the tip of the iceberg on how to get into the strategy or how to take it to the next level. Okay. Now, if you want, you can also reach out to me, and we can have a private one-on-one call. And, if you've got any questions or anything like that, I'm happy to take them during that private session as well. Okay. All right. Thank you so very much, everybody, for attending and giving me your time on a Sunday afternoon. So let me share with you the gifts, okay, because there's a lot of gifts to give away here. So the first one is access to the academy. So I have an online video academy where it contains 25 years of my brain in video format. Okay, so you guys will all have free access to this for a month. You can go in, access all of the audiobooks, any of the ebooks that I have on there, all the Excel sheets, all the legal documents, everything. It will be available to you for 1 full month. If you want to continue your membership, then absolutely feel free to do that as well. But you have access to it for a full month. Okay, and I'm constantly putting new content in, because as I'm learning things, or as I'm going through my real estate journey, I'm learning things and then making new content going in there as well. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, and you will also get the e-version books of the 2 books that I showed you. Okay, so these ones here. Ta-da! Okay, so those 2. I will also send you the link for the private lending document. And so, private lending is a different strategy than equity joint ventures. And if you are in the position to do private lending, this document will help you do it successfully, reducing your potential risks, reducing potential defaults. So highly recommended document. It's a white paper that I wrote. Okay. The 5th freebie gift is that I am doing a book collaboration. And so if you're interested in participating, having a chapter in that book, I am offering a massive discount on that. But you do have to reach out to me. We have another 2 days on that early bird book collaboration. Okay, so I will send that information out to you. If you want to participate, happy to, I would love it for you to come into the book collaboration. Okay, and the sixth gift, okay, this one is brand new. I am currently going through my 90-day challenge on making a $1 million business evaluation right now. Okay, and so what I'm going to do once I execute that is I'm going to put together a package, and I will be offering everybody who's on the call today VIP access to that 90-day challenge, which will take place once I finish my own challenge. That this VIP access will take place in September. So I will reach out to you in September as well with that, with that gift. Okay, so I am going to open it up to questions and answers. If the Q&A is not working for you, put it in the chat. If the chat's not working for you, put your comments in the Q&A and we can do it that way. Okay. All right. So if there are no comments or no questions or no chats, then that, then that's fine. Then I would just thank everybody for coming today and not worrying about, asking questions if there isn't any. So we would all get back about 15 minutes of our lives. Okay. Let's see. Oh, thank you. Irene, I will make that update on the 1 million, 100 million. You are correct. It should say 100K. Okay, so thank you, Irene, for catching that mistake. And Irene also asked, is the land already purchased and money you're looking for is to build, or are you looking for the 1.62 to buy the land and do your due diligence and then build? Okay, so we've actually already have done our due diligence. The 1.62 is to acquire the land and to pay the developers and pay the contractors, our closing costs, and a reserve fund and buffers. Okay, so on Wednesday's call, we'll get into a lot more of those details. The land, the purchase will be closing in September. So right now what we're doing is we're raising funds so that we can close in September on this purchase, on this opportunity in the 32 unit building Cristalina. Okay, so what I'm also going to do now is see. Okay, and I do apologize. I see a note from the Teams meeting that for some individuals, they just don't have access to all of the features. And so I do apologize for that. Okay, so I'm going to also bring up the next, here we go. Let's see here. Let me bring up the last poll. So I'm not seeing any other questions here. Oh, okay. I'm seeing some questions. Yes. So if you have any questions, put them in now, because otherwise, if I don't see a question, then I'm going to hop off the call. Okay. And then let's see here. Okay. So Vilma asked, okay, how many investors do you estimate to have one on this deal? So we are raising 1.62. So the math on that is that if everybody puts in 100K, then we're going to need about 16 people. If I'm hoping people will come in with more than the 100K. I've got a couple of investor contacts that may come in with the 400 or 500,000 range, which is fantastic. So then, if that's the case, then we wouldn't have as many investors needing to come in. Okay. Okay, Irene, thank you for your next question. So confirming is needed to join now, but funds won't actually leave our accounts until late August. Okay, so let's talk about that on Wednesday's session because we do have that structured in a certain way. What's the estimated 10.3% return based on? Okay, so that's also going to be explained on Wednesday's session as well. There is a lot of math that goes into that 10.3%. So we'll go into detail about how that's done. And then also I invite you to have a one-on-one call with Amy and me where we can walk you through the math and all of the due diligence and everything. So at a very high level, that 10.3 is based on cash flow, mortgage pay down, and appreciation. Okay. All right. Um, all right. So let's see here. So while I think maybe a couple of questions are still coming in, let me launch the last poll. And so if you haven't been able to participate, oh, okay, no, there is no last poll. That was it. Okay, so let's see here. I will stop the sharing on the Q&A. Oh, let's see, Mark, your hand went up, or was that by an accident? I'm not sure. If you have a question, please feel free to put it in the chat or the Q&A. Oh, okay. Mark's question, what is the minimum amount to get into the Kristalina deal? So the amount to get in, the minimum amount is 100,000. And at this point, we're working on just the cash, so physical cash. I'm hoping to have a surprise for everybody by mid-July. One of the things that I'm looking at is setting up the option to use registered funds, but that's not guaranteed yet. I'm still working through that. There's a quite a bit of a process on getting that in. Okay, so it's yeah, so it's 100,000. Okay, thank you everybody. All right, so I'm going to just okay, so perfect. So I am on schedule and we're finishing a little bit early. If you have any questions that you want to bring up privately, please feel free to reach out to me. Let me see here. I'm going to go back to my QR code there. Okay, so that is, you scan that, that takes you to my booking site. I think I rushed through through this particular slide quite fast. So if you scan the QR code, that will get you on a one-on-one call with me. Thank you, Sean. Thank you. And then the Kristalina deal on Wednesday. Okay. This particular, strategy isn't right for everybody. So, so please, I invite you to have a call with me so that we can figure it out. Um, you know, it's in my best interest to make sure that the strategy and the opportunities, especially if you're coming in with me on an opportunity that I work with, is right for you. Because I'm a single mom, real estate is my primary income. Like I can't screw this up. Okay. So, so being a single mom is having real estate as my primary income. And so I want to make sure that if you're going to come in on any of the opportunities that I work on any of the strategies that I promote, that it is right for you as well. Okay, there's a lot of risk for me to bring on somebody that is that where the strategy is not right for them. Okay. All right, everybody. If there is no more questions or no more comments, yeah, and if you have any positive, negative comments, I'm happy feedback. I'm happy to take those as well. Okay. Always looking at improving my presentation skills and how I communicate. So please and thank you. All right. If there's anything else, please reach out to me. Otherwise, I will let everybody go and have a wonderful evening or afternoon wherever you are. Thank you. Okay. Bye, everybody.